some say Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think, Brad? Is that a compliment that Ripple could be the next Bitcoin?
Well, I think if we're solving a real problem and it's at scale, then I think it's a compliment. I think the most important thing that is going on in crypto is understanding what is real and what is just hype. Some, I think, may look back on Bitcoin and find that it was the Napster of digital assets. What I mean by that is Napster was the first to digitize music and demonstrate, hey, if you digitize music, you can do a lot of cool things with that. But ultimately, they were circumventing trademark laws, they were circumventing royalty payments, and governments stepped in, and Napster was not successful. But Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, they were very successful. I think what you'll find is that maybe the next generation of digital assets ends up solving some of the original problems that Bitcoin set out to solve.
You know, frankly, the leadership we've seen outside of the United States in crypto regulation is way ahead of where it has been in the US. It's something we've been saying for years. And I think at the core of the executive order from the Biden administration is acknowledging that exact point, that the competitiveness of US in these developing markets around crypto, around blockchain technologies has fallen behind, and more investment, more talent is going outside the United States. When entrepreneurs here in Paris talk to me about starting companies in the crypto space, one of the first things I'll recommend to them is you shouldn't start the company in the United States because there isn't that clarity. And so a lot of the hiring, even for Ripple, we'll hire over 300 people this year. Well over half of those I expect to be non-US based.
Ripple, frankly, will hire north of 300 people this year. We'll do more of that outside the United States. And our growth is 95% from customers outside the United States. And it's partly because the rules of the road are clear in those countries. Way back when I first got involved with technology in the late 90s, the government took the step to clarify what are the rules of the road for the internet. And all kinds of capital flowed in, all kinds of entrepreneurs flowed in, and we saw an amazing explosion of activity and innovation. And that's amazing. And frankly, the US has benefited massively on a geopolitical basis from that. We haven't done that work here. And instead, particularly the SEC, is trying to regulate through enforcement.
Yeah.
That's a super inefficient way to do this, as opposed to let's do the work, let's provide the clarity. And I think the executive order is an example of taking that step. And I think that, as you mentioned, the bills pending and that have been introduced, we'll see where they go, one in the House, one in the Senate, I think are positive steps in that direction.
What's up, guys? Today, I have some really exciting stories for you. Things just got juicier in court, and there's no way the SEC is running away from this. The regulatory body has been placed in a tight corner, and the only way out is to settle with Ripple. And guys, finally, the SEC will have to settle as soon as possible. But before we get into all that, let's roll that intro. As always, welcome to Moneyside, your favorite crypto channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get updates when we drop new videos. And don't forget to smash that like button, and remember you can always leave a comment or a question in the section down below. Guys, here's the bombshell. Judge Torres just agreed with Judge Netburn on every single issue related to the Hinman emails. That means they are now forced to turn over the emails, and that's going to finally bring the truth to light. If you've not stocked up on XRPs, it's your final chance. The British pound went on a free fall, and we all know the Queen's death is a major contributor to this. The dollar is on the rise while all other currencies are falling, and I believe this is significant. Congress is rapidly trying to propose a trading ban, and that will be an indicator that the US dollar has reached its top.
And so looking at either side of how this ruling may turn out, I mean, if the judge rules with the SEC and deems XRP as security, what does that mean for the larger industry?
Well, I mean, for Ripple, I think for Ripple, we're already operating in a world, it's almost as if we have lost the lawsuit simply because you don't have XRP trading here in the United States for all intents and purposes. Uphold is one exchange, still allows trading of XRP, but other than that, everyone else halted trading here in the US. So I think if we prevail, we'll now have more liquidity in the XRP ecosystem in the largest economy in the world. We think that's good for everybody. It also, I think, really sets a tone for other cases the SEC is pursuing now. And they've been quite aggressive, as I think has been kind of well reported in their kind of overreach and some of the letters that have gone out that even congressional leaders have reached out to the SEC asking for explanation. If it doesn't go Ripple's way, I think Ripple can continue to grow our business. It'll just be largely a non-US business, which would be unfortunate. And I think it would give the SEC more standing to be more aggressive in other cases.
Far from that, something is definitely happening in the markets right now. And with how everything is unfolding, I don't think it's a coincidence that that dollar, the yen, the euro are all collapsing just at the same time when the SEC is moving closer to the conclusion of the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. I'm going to share a video with you, and you can see at the World Government Summit 2022, they call on a blockchain-based financial system. Just a couple of years ago, the idea of blockchain technology running over the world was nothing but a conspiracy. But things are quickly changing as we come closer to the reality of things. And what makes this even more interesting is hearing these talks being discussed at the highest levels of governments across the world. Brace yourself for a new reality. XRP is about to rise. Listen closely.
It's about what underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71. And so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well. And the question is, will that new system of digital money and digital accounting accommodate the competing needs of the citizens of all these locations so that every human being has a chance to have a better life? Because that's the only measure of whether a world order really serves.
In more interesting news today, we have a tweet from Finland Law talking about how Judge Torres has overruled the SEC's objections and orders the SEC to turn over the Hinman documents. This is an absolutely shattering defeat for the SEC. The judge has finally ruled that the SEC must turn over the Hinman emails. John Deaton has shared time and time again on Twitter that he believes the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit could be settled within 90 days of Judge Torres affirms Judge Netburn's decision to turn over the Hinman emails. As you all know by now, these emails and documents are most relevant to fair notice. And now that Judge Torres has passed her judgment, the clock is ticking. The end is near. As always, do your own research and always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. You can always let us know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have a conversation. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and please click on that subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next Money Side.